One cause of generational poverty is actually black tax. I know you guys have heard about black tax, but today I want us to actually see how we got ourselves here. In an African setup, black tax is actually one of the things that have been happening. For those people who are hearing black tax for the first time, it's where if you're a black person and you have money, you have to take care of your generation. So you have to like pay tax to your people, you have to help them, or you have to give some money or some financial help. And this is how it originated. So when there was the rampant growth of education, most of the parents felt if they were able to give their children the best education, they could be able to change their financial status. So what they did, they sold their assets, they sold their lands, they sold everything they had, and they liquidified their asset and took all their kids to school. And then in return, they were expecting, after we have done all this, actually whatever we had, our kids can be able to grow that in double measure, because they'll be salaried, they'll have better exposure, and they'll be making more money. Now, at the initial stages, it was not a problem, because then when you had education, it meant that already you have the money was flowing. But now over time, it has become a problem, because when you're educated, it doesn't mean that you have the money. So most of us have found ourselves in situations where you are educated, but you don't have the money. And even if you have the money, it's not actually enough because of another factor we call inflation. Money is losing value, and also the salary is not matching the inflation level. And now people are not able to actually survive on their own, because they have so many people who depend on them. And this has become a problem, and we have to come up with a way of dealing with it. And this is why I have prepared a whole video discussing 4 tips on how you can be able to deal with black tax. Hi guys, welcome again to my YouTube channel. My name is Jane Dishu, and I'm a financial advisor. The first tip is to have a budget. So you guys, having a budget is like you're telling your money what to do for you. So you set aside an amount of money that you'll be spending either every day, every month, every week, or depending on how you receive your income. You set like an amount of money, let's say maybe 10%, 5%, 20%, depending with where you have to start with. And then you be strict on that budget. So you really work towards making sure that that is the only amount of money that you're spending. So guys, when you give your black tax, like a real way to just give you guidance, believe you me, these people are going to ask money, and as long as someone is giving you money, there is no point you're going to feel like you need to stop asking for the money. So when you don't tell them that I have a budget on this, or this is the maximum I can be able to spend on you, it is actually a problem, because you as a person, you don't have something that is guiding you on how much you can be able to give out there. You don't have a reason why maybe when they ask for 1,000 extra in between the month, you are not able to give them. So having a budget, you are going to have like a guidance, or you're going to have like an amount of money or a range you can be able to afford within your salary. I really recommend something not above 10%, because believe you me, if your black tax is above 10%, it's going to take a toll on you. But if it's above 10%, you can always work within it. You can work within reducing it. So for example, if you're a person who is earning 100,000 Kenya shillings, and let's say you have people who you are supporting, like maybe paying their school fees, maybe paying for their livelihood, and you have people who are actively depending on you, you can start by cutting that to 10%, which is 10,000 every month. So, I have to send this amount of money to go to their shopping. I have to send this amount of money to go to their school fees. When you're dealing with black tax, you cannot just cut it to zero. It doesn't mean that you have now to pull away and you have now to run away from your responsibility. It's very hard to do that, because believe you me, they're also surviving in a system where they are depending on your money and they have budgeted on it. But believe you me, people learn from the habits that you teach them. You can always create a case scenario where you tell them, maybe we have maybe because of the economic changes, I cannot be able to afford the amount of money that I have been giving you every month. Or you can look into things like, maybe I have gotten a salary cut, so I cannot be able to match an amount of money. And also giving them direction on this is the amount of money. They are also mentally prepared, knowing that if I exhaust this 10,000 that I'm getting from my support, maybe I have to look for other ways. So they don't even, they're able also to work on their budget. Believe you me, it works both ways. If you don't have a a budget, believe you me, even the people who depend on you, they're not going to budget on the amount of money that you're giving them. So they will always have a scenario where they're asking money in between the month, and it's going to take a toll on you. But if you have a good budget and a strict budget where you have given them direction of the amount of money that this is what I can be able to spend on you, it also trickles down to them, so they're able to plan within that amount of money. So make sure you have a budget, communicate to them the amount of money you can be able to afford, and then it's going to just trickle, and it takes an ease on you when it comes to black tax. The second thing is to set strict boundaries. Guys, when I'm talking about strict boundaries, I mean it, like I really mean it. So let's give it a case scenario. In case maybe you earn your money monthly, make sure that the amount of money that you're giving them, it's given to them monthly. So in case these people have an emergency in between, be very strict to tell them that I don't have any extra amount of money that is remaining for me to spend. Setting those strict boundaries help you even with the overdependency or the entitlement. Believe you me, people who depend on you, at some particular point they are going to be entitled. At some particular point they are going to feel like it's a right, it's like something you have to do to them. So when you're setting strict boundaries, it's like you're giving them a direction of, even me, the amount of money that my employer always give me, they don't give me a way of just going to ask for more extra money. Or your business, how you receive your income. Believe you me, no one is giving you just an open check. They're always limiting you to a certain point. So you also need to trickle that. The same strict discipline and rules that you're receiving when you are getting your income, you have to trickle them down to your dependents. Communicate to them. Tell them, I cannot be able to give you an amount of money in between the month. So if you have an emergency, plan within this amount of money that I have told you I can be able to afford. Setting strict boundaries help with actually navigating black tax. It's actually help with improving even your relationship, planning better, also even communication. It's so easy for you. And let me tell you guys, I've said time and time again, even if you're helping people, if you withdrew that support, like assuming like today you lost your job, if you withdrew that support and you are not able to help them any longer, believe you me, they will still survive. Believe you me, they'll find another way of surviving. So you setting strict boundaries doesn't mean that you don't love them. It actually means that you are working so hard to continue loving each other and making sure that the relationship you have with your dependents, your family members, and people you love stick and stay for long. But you're not setting those boundaries, it's going to take a toll of you. And believe you me, at some particular point, you're going to have friction, and this might even affect on the long run. It's going to affect actually your relationship with your dependents, and you don't want that. So make sure you set strict boundaries. Communicate that this is when I'll be sending my money. So if you exhaust that amount of money, it's on you, it's not on me. You have to figure yourself out. You have to know how you're going to survive. You have to make sure that you figure your things out so that they also get to understand. And they also need to set their budget well. They also need to make sure that they can be able to survive through the month with the amount of money that you're giving them, and they can be able to save up something for their emergencies in case they have emergencies along the way. Another tip is teach them about money. So guys, when you're teaching yourself or when you're working so hard on financial literacy, I always tell people, just communicate that. Trickle that down to people who depend on you. Let me tell you, having people who depend on you, sometimes it can be so hard. It can actually take a toll on you when it comes to your mental health, when it comes to your productivity and everything. Most of the time, we are not motivated because we are taking care of other people. It's because we are getting the life that we have always wanted. Believe you me, if the life that you have always wanted is being affected by the fact that you're taking care of other people, it's going to take a toll on you. So it is very important to actually teach the people who depend on you on simple basic rules like budgeting, simple rules like savings and investment, simple rules like emergency planning, simple rules as investments. So you guys, empowering people who depend on you is actually like the best gift you can actually give yourself, because it means that you're building a better future, that these people don't depend on you for the next maybe 10 years or their lifetime. So you empowering them financially, you teaching them about money personalities, you teaching them about the power that they can have when it comes to maybe running their own businesses, starting something of their own, maybe making something, or maybe doing something to make more money with the amount of money that you're giving them, it's actually going to lighten the burden of the black tax. So you guys, for example, I have done this with one of my clients. So they have parents, and their parents have like junk of lands, and they have like acres of land, but it's not like they actively doing farming. They are not doing it at all, because definitely they are getting a source of income. So what I told them, because these parents are maybe they were in their 60s, I told my client, because they have retired and right now they don't have like so much of their energy, maybe you can start something like small scale farming. Like you can just start something. And let me tell you, we started with they started farming, doing the greenhouses, and then they employed some people to help them with the farming and the hard work, which they could not be able to do because of age. And believe you me, right now their parents are actually making a lot of money out of the farming idea that this guy gave to them, the investment they were able to make. So it means that you have taken one black tax away from your salary, and now it means that your income is free and you can be able to invest on yourself. So guys, can you empower those dependents of yours? Can you work to try to get them a job, to get them a way of improving themselves? It can trickle down to actually the basics of setting up maybe like a small business for them, setting up maybe an employment opportunity, showing them on how to invest, on how they can be able to grow their money. And most of these things just start from the point of their knowledge, whatever they can be able to do, whatever they can be able to grow with. Do not also mix the two where you expect them to be the kind of a person you are. Extend grace and work within their margins. Let you guys grow together. Don't have the friction of just pushing them so hard, but also don't be so lenient on them so that they don't get so comfortable. At the end of the day, you're trying to teach these people that they can also be able to be empowered. And believe you me, if you're able to empower 3 or 4 people or 5 people who depend on you, believe you me, it becomes so easy for you. And also your family, you're able to actually generate generational wealth. And now you have fought the generational poverty, and it is actually so easy for you to move forward as a family. The last tip is to review on your black tax. So guys, I know at some particular point it can get to the system where you just giving 10,000 or 10% of your income going to black tax, and you're so used to it that you don't review on it, that you don't actually act on it. And sometimes because of the economic changes, because of our financial status, because of maybe inflation and such things that are happening in the world, you might find that the amount of money that you're giving as 10,000 then is not enough to your dependents right now, or also it's taking a toll on you, or it's an amount of money that you cannot be able to afford. Maybe the financial status, like assuming maybe you started supporting your parents with 10,000 per month when you were not married, and now you are married, you have kids who are going to school. It's going to take a toll on you because you have an additional dependence, your income have not grown, and now it might need some adjustment. This is why the empowering factor is very important, because it means when your life is growing, when you're also having other people that you have to take care of, or when you're developing your own goals and working on your own family, you also don't want that to come in between with whatever plans that you have. So make sure that you do a review. It's very advisable to scale down. It's also very advisable to scale up if you have to. Guys, but mostly cutting down is very important, because it means that you're also worried about you not being a black tax. The whole point is to make sure that you also don't become a problem to your kids. You also don't become a problem to your children, that they'd have to take care of yourself. And believe you me, some of these basics are like you even setting up your emergency fund, you setting up your retirement fund, having investments and savings accounts. This is going to save you from the black tax, because it means that you're financially literate, you're financially free, you're also generating something for your own, so that when it comes to your time to retire, you don't become a problem to your kids. But if you continue the same system where you give a lot of money to people and you forget your own goals, and you don't do these reviews of cutting down on the same, believe you me, it might take a toll on you. This is why I always say, always review on how much money that you're spending out there. And if you're not having a salary increment, do not push forward. or do not push up. So make sure that you're scaling down if you're consistent with your income. But if maybe you are growing that, you can always push up. But if you're pushing up, make sure you also empowering these people so that at the end of the day, they can be able to depend on themselves. And at the end of the day, you're going to take a light load at the end of the day. So you guys, in case you would want maybe me to review on your budget or help you on how you can be able to scale up or scale down, you can follow me on my social media platforms, and then you can book an appointment. Then we can just have a conversation of where we are starting when it comes to black tax, what is our goal, what we are working with, opportunities you can be able to give to your brothers, sisters, parents, and investment opportunities that are out there to just eradicate the black tax and also grow your dependence. So you guys, I hope these tips are going to help you on working on your black tax, and I hope you're going to be able to push down or to pass down generational wealth and not generational poverty. And guys, until next time, thank you.